Hey folks, this is Ben Gessel. This is kind of an additional video that I'm making after my possible PCC trip. I know I really need to eat soon, so I can't make this too that long. And I wanted to talk more about nutrition and all this other stuff. But yeah, anyway, only human, only mortal man. So let's get right to this. And I think you guys saw everything I was buying. I did get one bag of pistachios are raw, 2 cashews, some I think it was mixed nuts and almonds that were just um, kind of more. I think they were more raw type. 3 little things of kiwi berries. So the nuts were a little bit pricey, as you can see, but the kiwi berries were cheap. The peanuts were also pretty cheap. I got 3 zucchini squashes. Each one of them were like $3, so that was a little much, yeah. But they were nice and big and healthy looking. Got some chef mushrooms. I like those chef mushroom blends a lot. The cabbage was $3, but it was a nice big cabbage. Onions, I got a lot of onions, yellow onions, and it's fairly cheap per pound. Squash was a little pricey, but I got 3 of those also. And then the Italian plums, I thought that was a steal because they're small, but they're very, very tasty. I think that type of plum. The organic celery, yeah, the $7.97 looks a little steep for celery, but that is a health lifesaver. The clementines are nice and cheap. Boy, those were that's a low price for what I was getting. And the organic kiwis, not too bad. Red grapefruit, I got 2 of them, so not too bad there. The yellow onions, not bad a price. Romaine lettuce, nice and cheap at $3. Here's where it gets more expensive. I got a whole bunch of Honeycrisp apples, and they should last quite a while, like a few months even. And nectarines, those are tasty, so I kind of splurged on nectarines. And I got some Tom Cord grapes. One of the bags actually, well, that's okay. I shouldn't say it because, well, I'll just put it this way: it's nice to help people in need. That's all. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, yeah. With the meat, the chicken and the pork came through. Not too bad. Not too bad a price. And these are, organic. They're the top of the line. Beef, I try to keep it around $10 for the beef and pork price. Thin cut pork belly. I know it's a little bit fatty, that stuff, but at least it doesn't have the added nitrates or the added salts of bacon and all that stuff. So it's just pork, pork belly. So then, of course, I have, you can see more beef. The short ribs, there's some short ribs I splurged a bit on, and then, but then I went back to the chicken, as you can see. So I have enough meat here to last a while, quite a while. And I got some beef sticks. Those are a little pricey, but they're really handy, for sure. Now, of course, some veggies, frozen veggies. Got a little discount each one of them on the broccoli and the peas and some green beans. Now I got also some noon juice. So if I'm getting bored of whatever, like water, this is a good go-to kind of thing for me that doesn't have very much sugar. Also, I got my expensive shampoo and some expensive multivitamins, and they were actually on savings. You're saving a bunch, as you can see. So those multivitamins that I had in my video, they're really high quality, but they're really expensive. The soap at least was cheap. So this was more than I usually spend by quite a bit at PCC. However, a lot of what I got I'll be using for quite some time. So this should actually last me the whole month. It really should. I shouldn't have to buy anything else food-wise this month. Maybe a few little produce things here and there. So a few things about nutrition before we get back to this video. I like how I'm doing time-wise, and apologize about all the background noise. I'm just making this video for my car. It's not a professional studio. Sorry about that. No, but so look, this is the way I try to eat. And you guys know I mentioned this before on some level. I'm trying to now have smaller meals, whenever I eat, and in 3 hour increments. I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna miss some. Um, but that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have a protein, a carb, and a fat. But it's one serving of each, and along with vegetables at every meal. And so these vast majority of these foods are allowing me to do that. And I have some peanut butter that's a bit more conducive to, things like weight loss and stuff. But so, and being healthier, that's the whole name of the game. And if you can minimize your salt and really get back to the natural way of eating nuts. I know at some point, I don't know if I'm going to soak my nuts and stuff, but sorry, that sounds wrong, folks. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, man. What I meant is actually soaked actual food nuts. Come on. Okay. All right. So, okay. So we know that we need to be consuming a lot of minerals, or at least we get them sometimes in multivitamins. Nuts like pistachios and also mixed nuts. They have some walnuts in there. They are great sources of minerals. And omega-3 fats. And I can't say enough about this top group in terms of how healthy they really are. But especially when you can get them in a more natural form and not super salted and not super roasted. I know. So the kiwis, peanuts, the same deal, but they are technically a bean, so yeah, okay. But the kiwis they're coming through with a little bit of that vitamin C, and then here we get into all the fibrous stuff, with all the bioflavonoids and all the phytonutrients, with the squash and the mushrooms and all the great stuff mushrooms have that we don't even know about always, but there's even some religious sides to the spiritual sides to mushrooms I know about, and it helps you be, well, I think mushrooms are amazing that way. So we got cabbage and onions and squash, and then we get plums, celery, all these different colors. And we're talking about mostly produce I was trying to get that wasn't super sugary. And even if they're sweeter, you just have one and you're good. But healthy. Tangerines, kiwi, golden kiwi, grapefruit. You have the red with the yellow and the kiwi, with the orange and the tangerine, with the purple and whatever, and the plum, or maybe some green, or I don't know. I think these Italian plums that have green flesh. Sometimes you get orange flesh with plums. They're just amazing. And then the yellow onion, the green lettuce, the white apple. It's a little bit yellowish with the red, and the yellowish orange nectarine, and the purple grape. They're all these different colors, and they're all from nature, and they're all super healthy. I don't care which carnivore says they're not healthy. These foods are healthy. They're healthy for you. I don't care. But I keep hearing that keto carnivore thing. The keto crowd, they're great. But I think that we need to be eating our fruits and vegetables, especially vegetables. Dr. Ekberg is like, yep, he's right. You got to watch the sweetness of the fruits. Sorry about that, folks. Starting to see. So, what can you do? Okay, now I mentioned all this healthy stuff about plant foods. We should know that these are healthy foods. We shouldn't debate the fact that they're healthy. They are healthy. You can always do better than getting the roasted, salted kinds of nuts, by soaking the nuts, and by getting sprouted grains, if you get, and then, getting more of a balance between beans and nuts. And I know, I have no disagreement with all that stuff. But these are foods that have vitamins and minerals in them they're by Mother Nature. Now, chicken, beef, pork. We're not talking about stuff that this is not life prolonging stuff. This is fuel food. As I've been watching this guy in West Virginia, this country guy. This kind of food is meant to fill you up and fill up your muscles, and is meant for you to go out and work out, and it's meant to go help you move furniture for people. It's meant for physical activity. So I have to remember, if I'm more sedentary, I have to take it easy on this kind of stuff. But this is what they do. And then you have all the different kinds of proteins, and the red meats have the richest variety of not only the B vitamins, but also different kinds of proteins. And beef has creatine. Beef is meant to make your muscles big and strong. Yes, we have no doubt about it, but that's only one part of the equation of being healthy. Is by being, nice and strong and muscular. And you have to work out. You have to weight lift, and along with eating the eggs and the beef and the vegetables and that sort of thing. But beef is great in its place. It's fine. It just, wow, man. I mean, there's so many other different kinds of sides to being healthy than being super buff. We need to keep us guys need to keep realizing that. So again, a lot of people would say I went overboard on the meat. I probably did, but this is going to be This is going to be in the freezer. It's going to be there whenever I need it. Meat is great for long-term food, so long as there's not a power outage and you all of a sudden have to eat all your meat or get rid of it somehow. That's atrocious. That's hopefully not going to happen. Wait. So this is why maybe it's a good idea not to have all this frozen meat all the time. This receipt's big. I got my beef jerky. That's specifically for if I'm on the road and I need some protein, high quality protein. I mentioned, I mentioned this before already with the vegetables: broccoli, peas. Those top ones are green beans. Broccoli, one of the best vegetables you can eat. The spinach was very pricey at PCC. It was up to almost $5. It was too expensive for my taste. But spinach, I had it on my list. But when I went with the green beans and the peas, at least they have a lot of fiber. But the broccoli is your as far as the frozen veggies, the broccoli is the superman of the group, I think. But as you guys remember, I mean, I also am looking at all these fresh veggies that I should be able to go through, and I definitely got my cabbage, right? I came through, and I'm gonna eat it. That's the most important thing, is actually eating it. The stuff too, yeah. So, okay, I'm not trying to brag here, folks. I'm not trying to say, look how much I can spend. I know how easy it is for me to sound like that's that way, and this is a lot of money. No joke. What I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to take my health seriously. I need to work out some more, for darn sure. We should all take our health more seriously. If we're looking at our grocery prices plus what we're spending in medical bills, that can add up to this amount easily, if not more. So what I'm trying to do is to avoid expensive health bills in the future. Hopefully I'll have insurance and all this stuff. So you already know about the shampoo and the soap. I'm sorry if I feel like I'm shouting. I don't mean to shout. I'm just sounding very adamant. I've learned more about nutrition with Kiani. And it's worth checking out, by the way. I'm sorry this receipt keeps slipping. Well, a lot of times we just have these small receipts. We're being very thrifty and being only what we need. But all this stuff is none of this stuff is maybe the only superfluous, the only things, I don't even know if that, the only stuff I got that I really probably didn't absolutely need was that noon drink. That was hardly any sugar. That was just for the flavor. Nice to have some different flavors. But all this stuff is good quality food. It's going to nourish my body. If I share it with other people, and I will, it's going to nourish their bodies. I got candy for my siblings for Christmas. I got chocolate. It was better than your Starburst, but it was candy. I freely admit that I buy candy. I'm like you guys. I like my goodies, but I have to be aware of the fact that when I eat this stuff, when I eat candy, if I eat a bunch of it, and if I have it on a regular basis, even if it's not that much, in my middle-aged years now, I'm not an old man, okay? I'm not old. I won't be old until I feel like I'm old anyway. Look, Dr. Ekberg, he's older, but he doesn't look old. He's in top shape. Okay? So, all right. Whatever. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is when I eat candy in larger amounts, even if it's dark chocolate, there is definite impact it has on my body, and I feel it. And it's not like smoking. It's not like alcohol. It's not like drugs. It's fine if you guys smoke or you drink or whatever. I'm not saying I don't want to go there right with this video. I just want to say, and the candy's in a different ballpark altogether, but it's not good for me to have that much candy, and it is not good for any of us to have a whole bunch of candy at once, unless we're little kids and we're just having fun on Halloween. This kind of food that I bought, I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat it every single time I buy it. I probably won't get this much on a regular basis, of course. But this is the stuff that will keep me looking young. It will keep me active and fit as long as I'm working out as well, getting enough sleep. So it's expensive. You guys can probably, if you guys can shop like this and you only spend 100, 200, 300, especially for a family, that's amazing. My hat's off to you. That's amazing. I would just ask you to keep in mind that all of these foods, all the foods that you're buying, they should have the nutrients that you need. And you don't need to have 100% of the RDA of everything. You just need to have like 75%. But you also need to watch it when they have the high fructose corn syrup. So there's other channels I should recommend to you guys that are good health channels. Dr. Axe is good. Dr. Ekberg is good. Dr. Ekberg, Ekberg. But there's others. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me what I'm watching to try to be healthier, what I'm doing to try to be healthier. It's okay if you ask. Nobody wants to ask because everybody thinks that they know. And the thing is that we're still learning. None of us really know, but some of us know a lot. And so I want to be out there. I want to give you guys information that you can use. And I would love to be able to give you guys food as well. It's just kind of hard to do that over this guy. And I have an extra emotional tone in my voice. I fully admit it. I felt good today. It was a little emotional, but in a good way. But there's healthy ways of being, and then there's like semi-healthy ways of being, and we just need to be our healthiest that we can be. And I probably next time I go shopping won't be able to spend nearly this much, but I'm gonna use every darn square inch of this food. Hopefully you guys are getting this. This is an ongoing thing. This kind of stuff, even if it's just produce, it's every time I shop, every time, especially the produce. It's got to be there. It's got to be there with the greens. The greens are a must. They are a must. And then some of those eggs, right? Sure. Yeah. But if you're a vegan, wow, just make sure you have some fuel food that has some, the proteins that you need, the B12. Make sure you're getting some sunlight with that vitamin D. Or make sure that you're supplementing with D3. You got to make sure you're getting that stuff because it affects your moods. It really does. And of all the nutrients, this is according to my brother Andrew, vitamin D is the one that's the most important to make sure you're supplementing with. Make sure you get the liquid type. Don't worry about splurging a little bit for vitamin D3 liquid. That's the stuff that is hardest to get in our diets right now. We got it from fish. But the fish, I don't know what's going on with the fish. But the fish are having issues. Hopefully not for a while. And we still have sun. We have abundant sun. But many of us in the northern hemisphere, we get farther up north in our colder areas, where most of us are white and most of us are fair-skinned. We can absorb sun so readily, but we don't get a lot of sun, especially in the months coming up here, in the fall and the winter, in Washington State, in Canada, in Northern Europe. I know we've had a lot of hot summers, but it's always the way it is. In Northern Europe and Northern Asia, we've got to make sure that we're eating our fish and we're getting our vitamin D. Sometimes people get it with dairy, but dairy is not as ideal as fish. Those mushrooms, they come in handy for sure, but they're not going to be the best source of vitamin D. But they're great. They're great in their way. I kind of feel like you guys should check out Dr. Mandel. I feel a little bit more like him. I feel like I want to say more things like him. He keeps his information in short little increments. What he says, you guys should check out Dr. Mandel. 100%, without a doubt. He is the one to just watch, even for pick-me-up in the day. He's always positive. He's a good man. He's a very good man, and what he says is the honest truth. As far as none of us know everything about health and nutrition, but everything that he knows, he tries to say. And what Dr. Mandel says is that we need to be eating our fruits and vegetables every day, even if it's just a turnip or a regular little apple or whatever it is, or whatever we can afford. That's the most important stuff because that will keep us alive. And along with our fuel foods, whatever we eat to keep us feeling full. And even well, anyway. So I want you guys to comment on this below if you want. All right, catch you guys later. Take care.